Hey there, Joomla fans. Tim Davis here. I'm a Joomla fan too. Thanks for tuning in to this week's Maintenance Monday, episode number 27. And today we are going to be taking a look at another factor or feature of Akeeba Backup. And already we have controversy in the chat because as you can see from the thumbnail or over my right shoulder here, the tool of today was Rainx, and Smart Drive Test says you can't fix anything with Rainx. And I told him that you can fix, actually, that you use Rainx to prevent needing to fix things. He was suggesting duct tape would be better. But anyways, we will probably get into that in the chat later on. Hey, so thank you very much for your support of this channel. Appreciate it very much. If you're watching live, please give the video a thumbs up and maybe even share it with somebody. Well, don't share it with anybody, though, who wants to get Joomla stuff if you don't even know what it is. But share it with someone and leave a comment and let us know that you are there. And we'll go be chatting afterwards. Now, if you're watching this on the video, bad timing for a Skype call. If you're watching this on the recording afterwards, leave a comment below. And but for sure, please do subscribe to the channel. We've got 820 on the subscribe to the channel already. In fact, let's just transition over to there right now. You can see here on the basicjoomla.com site, 820. My other channel, Cybersalt, 744. Hopefully going to get to 1,000 pretty soon. And remember, head over to basicjoomla.com for a chance to win a 1-year membership to manage one site on myjoomla.com for a year, or as many sites as you want on myjoomla.com for 1 month. Hello, Emmanuel. Oh, no need for a frowny face. You just got the notification, but that's okay. I haven't been going long at all. Anyways, and also to win monthly Regular Labs extension, Pro version for 1 year. Your choice of extensions. So, what I want to look at today is a feature of Akeeba Backup Pro. Now, this is not available in the basic free version, which is very powerful and which you should use for backing up your site. I have a playlist. I'll drop a card down after this is recorded, and links are in the description below to everything that I refer to. So back up your site regularly with Akeeba Backup. But Akeeba Backup Pro has a bunch of other features in it. I thought that we would just look at one today, although I'm going to reference a second one as well. Now, in that playlist, you'll see that we looked at how to use profiles in Akeeba Backup. So you can set up different backup profiles to do different things for backing up your Joomla site. So you could back up the whole thing and your database all together. You could back up just your files. You could back up just your database. You can back up select tables in your database or select files or all kinds of combinations. It's probably, I wouldn't even know how many different combinations you could have. But so in these different profiles, in the Pro version, and even if you just use one profile, you can select a destination for your backup to be sent to in post-processing. So for sake of speed, I'm using the profile here that backs up only the database. Let's use this one here, database only. So that profile will switch. Then we're going to go to where you configure the profile. And then we're going to scroll down to advanced configuration. And this is where you're going to have a lot of options available in the Pro version, which I think is really worth it, especially for some of these features. And we'll talk about why it might be important for you to send your backup off of your server and to somewhere else. You have some choices here in advanced configuration. And what I want to do is just skip down to the fourth one here with this post-processing engine. And so basically, after the backup is done and on your server, it is sent to somewhere else. And by using this drop down here, we can see all of the options that you have. Amazon S3, Backblaze, CloudMate, all kinds of stuff. DropBox is what we're going to look at in a second. Your Microsoft OneDrive, or your Google Drive, Google Storage, a whole bunch of options. iDrive is down there as well. I think it was Vinny that recommended iDrive to me, but maybe I'm not remembering that correctly. Anyways, what I just wanted to say, we're going to look at how to do Dropbox today. But before I do that, I just want to say I was going to do send by email today, but sending the database alone as an attachment in email was not getting past the spam filters or the virus filters on my server. And it wasn't that this Joomla site is sending a virus. It's actually just because it's suspicious of SQL files, and rightly so, because you can run those on a server and they'll do a bunch of stuff. So my server is not set up to allow SQL files to be attached to email. So I abandoned picking send by email for today and thought we would just look at Dropbox. Dropbox is the one that I use. Right now I have a terabyte of space on Dropbox. I have that level of the account. And so let me just show you what happens here. So we'll select upload to Dropbox, and we're going to use version 2 API. I don't even know if version 1 is still in there anymore. Don't think so. Once you select that, you want to go to the far right here to configure. And here what you're going to do is pick a few options for this backup, how you send it to Dropbox. Process each part immediately. You may have your backup broken up into smaller segments. And so once a segment is done, it will be sent to Dropbox right away instead of waiting for them all. Delete archive after processing. This is a neat one. Once you backed up your Joomla site or whatever it is this profile is set to back up, it leaves it on your server. When you copy it to Dropbox, you have the option to take it off of your server. So you might have 4 or 5 different backups running a day with different things, and maybe you don't want to store them on your server or have that many on your server. So you could delete that archive afterwards. I'm going to select that here. Enable chunk upload. Let's see if we can get a mouse over option. I did not look to see what chunk upload is, but I always use it, so I'll leave it there. Maybe if you know what that is, put it in the comments below, or maybe I'll look it up on the Akeeba site and put it in a comment underneath this video as well. Next, what you want to do is authenticate your backup process here with your Dropbox account. I guess chunk size would be, chunk size. What's the biggest you want the file to be when you upload it to your server? So if you have a 100 megabyte backup, you're going to send it in chunks of 20 just so that you have more manageable things if you have problems managing large files. So that is what chunk upload is. So your authentication step here. If you click on authentication, you will be taken to Dropbox. And basically, I just whipped that off the screen there just in case it had some personal information. And it does, so I'm just going to shave a little bit off. And what you will get is, there we go. Just move this a bit. What you'll get in the window that pops up is information telling you the access token, which I have below the box here, and your account user number. And if you want, and basically they're just asking, do you want Dropbox saying, do you want to allow this application to directly access your Dropbox space? So what we're going to do is say yes. If you're not logged into Dropbox, you'll actually have to log into Dropbox in the web browser here when you do this step. So we go complete Dropbox authentication. And then what happens is you're given a token, which I'm going to change right after I've done this live stream because it changes each time you authenticate. And then the last option you have is the directory, and that is where do you want this backup to go when on your Dropbox space. So what I do is I have a little folder on Dropbox that I call Site Backups. You can see some of the other sites I've put there, and I'm going to call this basic Joomla. Now, what I recommend, well, here's something to consider. If you have a bunch of computers that are hooked up to your Dropbox and syncing files back and forth, and you have a large Joomla site, let's say you're running a couple 100 megabytes, and you're doing a backup a couple times a day, I would suggest that you put your backups in a Dropbox folder that is not set to sync to all of your devices. And you can do that in the bottom right hand corner of in Dropbox. You can right click on the Dropbox, go up to settings, and then what you can do is you can go to preferences, and let me just see here. You would go to, I'm just looking off screen here so I don't show all my settings. You would then go over to sync, and then you can go down here and you can select which folders will sync to this computer and which ones will not. So what I have on my computers is I have my computer set to not sync the folder site backups. And then that way I can back up lots of sites, and I do back up lots of sites, the sites for my clients as well, into that folder, but it doesn't always get downloaded onto my computers. So for instance, you wouldn't want to open up a laptop on a slow connection at a coffee shop and then suddenly be downloading all your Joomla sites. Not only that you don't want to download that at a Wi-Fi at a coffee shop, but it's going to be for security reasons, but it's also going to be slow. So you can set a folder accordingly in that way. Basically, once you've done that, you have all of your steps taken care of, and you can save and close. And that leaves you with the option then just to back up. And I'm going to use this one-click backup button for the database only. It's going to go fairly quick here because it's not a big database for my basic Joomla site. Here we go. Finalizes the backup process. We get into post-processing, which was very quick. And is it there? We'll go over here to my Dropbox. And there you go. There is the database that just now was copied from my Joomla install by Akeeba backup onto Dropbox, and now it is there. And the reason that this is important to maybe consider having backups go off of the server where your site is hosted is because if something happens to your hosting account, let's say something happened to your host and they wiped out your account accidentally, or they don't have backups, although you should have your own backups, or whatever it is that happens, you'll lose the backups that are sitting on the server as well. In this case, you will have them on your Dropbox as account as well. So you could lose everything on the server but still recover your Joomla site. And if your host deletes your account, then you're in big trouble in some other things. But at least you still would have your site in Dropbox. Now, if a hacker gained access to your computer, what they could do, and when I click on Manage Backups, they could actually go in and click Manage Remotely Stored Files and pull that file back from Dropbox. In fact, I'll just show you right here, this status of that is remote. Excuse me, wow. Is remote because I chose the option to delete the backup once it was post-processed over to Dropbox. If we want to bring that back to the server here, all you have to do is click Manage Remotely Stored Files, click Fetch Back to Server, and finish downloading that back to the server. We can close that. It'll refresh, and we'll see now there's a check mark there. Now the big question is it still back here in Dropbox? Yes, it is. So it does not look like there's any way that that could be deleted by a hacker. Although eventually, if you pick in your setup of Akeeba to allow it to control remote storage, and so older things when they're deleted from your record to get deleted from that remote storage, you could lose an old backup as well. But basically, backing up off of your server gives you an extra safeguard against something happening to your file space, or someone hacking your hosting account, or a problem with your hosting company, or I mean, you could even have a billing dispute with them and they shut your account down, and it just all depends on the quality of your host. I just really think it's great. It's really important to have all of your stuff backed up somewhere in the cloud, not just in one location on your web hosting server, but elsewhere, and also download to your computer, and ideally downloaded or copied off of your computer onto a hard drive that you unplug from your computer and put somewhere safe in case someone does some hacking. I just saw today a post on Facebook about a company that nail salon. They had someone hacked. It sounds like they got one of those hacking jobs where they encrypt your data. That it's escaping me now, and they want money to de-encrypt it so that you can get your data back. Anyways, this company has lost 2 years of their information, of their appointments, of their customers, of everything they've had for 2 years, because they did have backups of their stuff, but they stored their backups with their computer stuff that was infected right there. There was nothing offline to protect them from the effect of that hacking. So they have restored their company back to like 2016, because that's the most recent backup they had that was totally separate of their online presence or of their connected presence. Well, I guess it'd be online presence because they got hacked. So this is a really great option to consider. Buy Akeeba Backup Pro and have some extra locations for different things backed up. And especially remember, one of the things that I pointed out, the great thing about backing up the database for your Joomla site is if you have an e-commerce site and people are ordering frequently during the day, you could set this to back up just the tables that is the order information for your website, and every half hour back them up to your Dropbox folder, and then they're down on your computer. So then if something does happen, you don't lose even half a day's of sales or something like that. So that's what I thought that we would look at today, today's Maintenance Money, how to back up your site with Akeeba Backup and have Akeeba send it to Dropbox. And as you can see, there's lots of other, oh my goodness, I should turn this mail program off. Should I not have? Yes. There's lots of other options and places that you can send your backups to. So before I head over to the chat here, I just want to once again thank you all for your support of this channel and for your encouragement. And exciting things are happening here at CyberSalt World Headquarters. That's my company. So Basic Joomla is one of the CyberSalt sites. And I look forward to sharing that with you really soon. So do this. Back your websites up remotely as another way to cover yourself in case something happens. And so until the next time, enjoy your Joomla sites and God bless. All right, now we'll head over to the chat here. Emmanuel, are you still there? I was talking to Rick, Smart Drive Test, just up there, and he said the notification for live streams happening, I need to change them to 30 minutes. Well, wouldn't that be nice if I knew where to change that? Because I have looked for that before. I'll have to look at it again. Rick was going live yesterday and sent out, and I did get notification 30 minutes before. But Emmanuel, I did also send it on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So why don't I give you, I don't know if you follow on Facebook, but I'm going to post right here the different URLs for following, and then you would get notification, possibly. That's Facebook. And I don't know if you use Twitter, but this is, okay, let's see here. There's Basic Joomla. And let's do LinkedIn. Oh, you follow on Twitter. Okay. Yeah, I did send it out about half an hour before on Twitter. But I don't always, I don't always get stuff right away on Twitter because one of the things about my current cell phone is it's not really robust, or it's a little especially slow opening Twitter. Doesn't always remember the password, so I'm not really using Twitter as freely for chatting as perhaps I do SMS or something else. Let me just post this. Yeah, and you get the notifications via YouTube when I go live and they pop up. So and yeah, by email as well. Vinny, what did you miss? Backing up Joomla site and with Akeeba Pro and using it to process it to Dropbox. And a little beginning of a discussion too with Smart Drive Test about why Rain-X is not really a tool because it doesn't fix anything like duct tape. Although my argument was if you use Rain-X, it will prevent needing to fix things with duct tape. And for those, maybe you all don't know what Rain-X is, but it's a treatment for your windshield, this particular one, and it makes water bead up. So I've actually driven for a couple of hours in a really good rainstorm on the highway without turning the windshield wipers on at all because the water just hits and beads and blows off. And even at night, it's actually pretty good because with it beading on the windshield instead of becoming a film, it's a lot easier to see past the drops. Oh, hey, hi, Mary. I think Rain-X is a great gift at Christmas time for everybody. And living in the Pacific Northwest together with me, Rain-X is really great because the winters are, yeah, that's it, Vinny, Rain-X windshield wiper fluid. The winters are so dark and at night, and that sounds like a stupid thing, but here on the West Coast in the Pacific Northwest, so that would be British Columbia, Washington State, and Oregon, when it is winter time and we're getting those rains and it is dark early, it's nice to have a clean windshield with Rain-X. So anyway, so that's what I went with. And I actually kind of picked it too because it was a nice bright yellow, went with the shirt, and well, it doesn't go with the shirt, it sticks out from the shirt. But yeah, I should maybe start a Rain-X YouTube channel. No, I shouldn't. Do I think that Akeeba Backup Pro subscription is worth it if you only have 2 Joomla sites? Okay, Vinny says yes. That's Mary. You probably are you using Akeeba Pro? Yeah, Vinny says it's worth it even if you have one. Yeah, I don't think that. Okay, Mary says yes. Yeah, Emmanuel, I think it's worth it, just for the features that are in the Pro version, and I'm a little bit rusty about what's not in the Pro version, what's not. So, yeah, Admin Tools Pro. Okay, I've used Admin Tools a little bit, but I also use RS Firewall, which does a similar thing to Admin Tools, and I'm so used to the interface of RS Firewall and its logging system that I've not looked at Admin Tools for a long time, the Pro version for a long time, because I haven't bought the Pro version for a long time. Oh, you get the dual subscription. Okay, yeah, that's what you're saying. Get the dual subscription between the Admin Tools Pro and Akeeba Backup. Yeah, and that's certainly, I see a lot of people, I see more people recommending Admin Tools Pro than they do our RS Firewall, but it might be because of the connection to Akeeba. Yeah, so here, Emmanuel, let me just set up a split screen here for the 2 versions of Akeeba. We'll look at them side by side. Okay, WebDAV, Google. Yeah, that's here. Let me switch over. You guys are, the chats are coming fast and furious. Let's transition over the screen here. Let's go to Control Panel, and we'll read right down the list. Oh, Vinny, by the way, was it you that recommended iDrive to me? I still haven't checked it out, but I mentioned that earlier on in the stream as well. We'll go to Configuration. We'll go to Backup Type. And not Backup Type, sorry. Post-processing. Okay, manual, here's what we got. Send by email, which I just said earlier was a little bit tricky because sending the database by itself, the server did not like allowing to attach an SQL file. Amazon S3, Backblaze B2, CloudMe, Dream Objects, Dropbox, Google Drive, Google Storage, Google Storage Legacy, Microsoft OneDrive, Microsoft Windows Azure Blob Storage, Rackspace Cloud Files, Remote FTP Server. So that's if you have if you had 2 websites and on different servers, you could FTP over to one of your, you could FTP to one of the accounts or the other. I would guess too that maybe Vinny or Mary, you can answer this. I wonder if you could probably set up an FTP server on your computer, right? And then just have, I guess you need a dedicated IP to do that. Anyways, lots of remote FTP, safe FTP, SugarSync, iDrive, and WebDAV. Okay, WebDAV for OneDrive. Okay, that's what Vinny uses. Okay, apart from remote backups, what else do you get for the Pro version? Let me just see, or let me just move over this window over here and see if I can find another one of my sites that has the free version only of Akeeba backup on it. Here we go, components, Akeeba backup. Configuration. And we'll go over here. All right, I got it here. So if I split this window into here, bet you I can do that in Windows that way. There's my big folder of thumbnails. All right, so down the left-hand side, this is what we have for, this is the Pro version, and down the right-hand side is the other version. Let me bring up chat here so I can keep up with you guys. Okay, so you have your profile description, 2 lines basically there. You have your basic configuration, which is your output directory, log level, backup archive name, and backup type. That's the same. And client-side implementation of minimum execution time. Use iframes instead of Ajax, and use database storage for temporary data. That's the same. So then we go up to basic configuration, which is where we, oh yeah, okay, this advanced configuration. And so here in the Pro version, you have the database backup engine, that's duplicated. File system scanner engine, here you can configure it. Here you have a large site and smart scanner option. That might be just overlap, different versions of different, that might be the same. Archiver engine, post-processing engine, so that's the big difference right there. You have the opportunity to upload Kickstart to remote storage. So Kickstart is the file. Make sure, do I have both these on? Yeah. Kickstart is the file that you use to restore or to transfer an Akeeba backup. So the Pro version gives you the option to upload it right to your remote storage, so you have everything that you need there without going and hunting. Archive integrity check, I already said that. Embed restoration script, that's an option. Angie password, that's the same. Virtual directory for offsite files, that is not an option in the free version. It says if you've configured any offsite directories, their contents will appear inside the archive as subdirectories of this virtual directory. Oh, I'm reading it, but I'm not understanding it. It is virtual because it doesn't really exist on your server. It only exists inside the backup archive. If you have configured any offsite directories, their contents will appear inside the archive. So offsite directories, that would probably be, let's say you have some digital files that you're selling, but you don't store them inside the folders of your Joomla files. You install, you actually have them in a different folder off of that. It looks like what it will do is it will back up those, if I understand that that right. Now let me just catch up on the chat here. Okay, so Mary, you're saying that Pro version of Akeeba has better or more features for restoration. Certainly, that would, yeah, certainly this whole having your Kickstart uploaded would be one thing. kickstart file, upload to the remote file. All right, so, and then Vinny, to make Windows move to left or right in Windows, select the window, hit Windows key and left or right arrow. Windows, select the, well, there you go. Select the window. Yep. Hit Windows key and left or right arrow. Ah, there's a cool trick. Alrighty, I like that. I really do not use that feature of Windows very much. Yeah, and Akeeba does make transferring a site from localhost to live really easy. Yeah, just back it up on your localhost, on your server, your computer, and then transfer it over. It is the best way to transfer sites from one server to another. Under quota management, we see some other options here. In the free version, you get obsolete records to keep, enable size quota, enable count quota, and count quota. Over here, you have other options such as enable remote files quota. So that's when that's checked, you can, the same quota that's applied here on your server is applied to your remote files. Enable maximum backup age quota. So that's you can basically, if you enable that, you can say get rid of any backups that are older than this many days. You have the option here of don't delete backups taken on this day of the month. So you could actually select the first day of each month and that will not be deleted. And then it will just keep, you'll always have a 1 month staggered backup, and you can pick different dates or a custom date. Obsolete records to keep. That's part of the free version, and then all the rest are part of the free version. Fine tuning, you have minimum execution time, maximum execution time. You get that in both versions. Execution time, resume backup, wait period, and maximum retries. You get that, but then you have these other options: disable step break before large files, disable step break after large files. I don't even know what step breaks are. Akeeba will break the processing step after archiving a large file. When you enable this option, Akeeba backup will work faster. However, this may result in timeout of internal server errors. So, okay. Disable proactive step breaking. Disable step break between domains. Akeeba backup will break the processing step whenever it starts working on a new domain. Huh. I'd have to read up on that. Anyways, and a couple of other things there. Set an infinite PHP time limit. Okay. So, yeah, you can check that, and I guess your backup process, if you're having it running, a problem with it running short on your server or timing out, this will make it run longer. So, yeah, so that's the options. Pretty much, though, Emmanuel, the big reason that I use this is that I like the pro version is for exporting to the other location. My big reason for using it too is that with my web hosting clients on my server on my company, in order to save on buying backup space for my server, although I back up all the accounts, I like to just and I want to make it available to them as well so that they can have a backup of their own site. I export their site backup to Dropbox, and then I can have tons of backups there in my account, and I can share a folder with them as well. So if you want to share a folder with a client, you could set the destination to be a Dropbox folder you share with them, and then they will always get the backups each day. Although you'd have to be careful with that too, because if your client doesn't know what they're doing or accidentally deletes everything, then technically they could be wiping out an important backup that they might want and that you might want to make available to them. All right. Hey, you're welcome. Yeah, it's nice to be able to have a look at that, to see what's in there and see what the differences are as an advantage before buying. Although I'm sure that at the Akeeba site that they have it left and right. showing what's in the Pro and what's in the free version. Hey, you guys, while we're here talking about Akeeba, I wonder what you think about their new color scheme. I know it matches with their logo. How do you like the new interface? Do you have any thoughts about it? I have a few thoughts about it from the change that first came up. Okay, you like the flat buttons? Yeah, it certainly is a minimalist look to it. I think that and I hardly remember what the old one looked like now, but I do notice that yeah, they're very crisp and very clear. Sometimes I almost have a bit of a blindness. I don't know if maybe the words were inside the buttons before I was used to that, but I certainly knowing all the features that they have already, it's made it a lot easier for me to just think, oh, I need, I actually read the words. So maybe I just got familiar with what the icons were doing. Although I have learned that the one-click backup up here that I've got, I can just go right to the profile. So maybe I'm just being an old guy too that doesn't like change. Yeah, Emmanuel, them thinking about the new design, that's possible. Getting it in advance. Here's their website now. Do I still let me not lose track. Yeah, so here's their website, which this is obviously the blue here. The orange, the green, and the red don't really, there's their red, but the orange and the green don't really show up many places so far. So yeah, it's got a very different look, and so whether they're thinking about Joomla 4 or they're just rebranded, it's yeah, they are very interesting colors. I'm not even sure what colors to describe them as. They're not like a 60s color for sure. They're almost, I don't know what it'd be, almost like a 70s. But anyways, yeah, Joomla 4 is going to be really interesting. I'm looking forward to that too. Of course, I look forward to any new version of Joomla that comes out or anything like that. By the way, still have not switched my SSD drive on my computer. Someday soon. Oh, okay. Cool. Screenshot of Akeeba backup on Joomla 4, and it looks pretty good. Yeah, I've not really done anything with Akeeba, anything with Joomla 4 yet. So my latest project is a tool for YouTube creators. I noticed that there's a step in putting YouTube content on YouTube and then also putting it on sites that was really awkward. So I've got a friend to program it, and I'm just about to launch a site that where people can subscribe, and so that's been the latest thing to get in a way. When you do a live broadcast, we'll have a drive party. Yeah. Okay, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll do that. Of course, I won't be able to have the party while I'm switching it, because it's actually the computer that I do the live streaming on. But I don't know if I told you guys this before, but I'm actually going to do a tutorial on how to clean the inside of your CPU, because mine is really super dirty. And so I've been waiting for time to actually get outside and get my compressor going and blow the dust out. Then I'll once I have the raw video shot for that, then I'm going to do the tutorial on how to switch the SSD drive. I'm going to do that for my CyberSalt channel. And Facebook Live on my phone. Yeah, that would be interesting. Okay, I'll consider it. That might be something more for my CyberSalt channel than basic Joomla channel. Which I'm not sure. That channel's got some sort of anything that's not basic, anything that's not Joomla, that's where I put my other stuff. I have some Gmail tutorials. My mom's friend, they're both older, they're both seniors. She upgraded to Windows 10 and missed her Windows 7 games, so I did a tutorial for her on how to install Windows 7 games on Windows 10, and I put it on that channel. It's actually gotten quite a few hits because people really like their Windows 7 games. So, all right, well, I hadn't thought about that. I'll think about. I'll think about that. Maybe if I get the, maybe I could do the have a drive party once I've got everything copied over to the SSD, because that takes a while. Then we could actually just have it and fiddle around, and I'll put it in and fire it up, and then we'll see what happens. That could be good. Otherwise, it's going to take hours to do it on the, if we include the duplicating the drive. But I like that's the fun idea. Facebook live stream an SSD swap. Oh yeah, okay. So what do I think? I saw that tweet from Phil Taylor. I hope Joomla 4 is a success because Joomla is dying big time. That's yeah, it wasn't nice party. Yeah, I'm not sure what he meant by Joomla dying big time. I should ask him about that. Why don't I ask him, and then I can let me just tweet him right now. Don't do a stream on President's Day, you'll get booed. Is President's Day today, correct? Okay. It is President's Day. Well, nobody seems to be booing me, so let's see here. I'm going to I wonder if Phil's there now. I'm going to message him. New message, just on the, send it to Phil. I just got asked, let's see, I'm on the live stream and just got asked think about your tweet. All right. Sorry, I know the purpose of live streaming is not to watch me type something on Twitter. There we go. We'll see if he's live. If he's up, maybe he'll something. You don't have President's Day in Costa Rica. Some of these programmers don't like Skype. I won't mention one, but he doesn't like he doesn't want to. I've never even heard his voice other than watching recordings. They don't mind typing, but they really don't want. They don't like Skype or their voice or something like that. But yeah, and actually, this real time. I wish that I guess we could do Google Hangout, and that would allow some of us to talk as well. I should make a little note for us to try a Google Hangout, because that would let us get a little bit of discussion happening too. Google Hangout, something else to Something else to learn. Isn't there a way to live stream with Google Hangout and run it through YouTube? I bet there might be. Just one more of the many wonderful and amazing things I could look into. So, Rick, do you know where that setting is to change for updates or alerts to set it to 30 minutes before they go out? Since you told me to change it to that. Or anybody? Okay. Yeah, I saw his updates on the what nothing as well. Settings for the live stream. Okay, I'll look again for those, Rick. Yeah, Vinny, updates to his extension what nothing. Probably because there's some better way to organize it, or why don't I ask him that question too? Since I wonder if he is up. Let's go over here. I don't think he's probably up. It's 2 in the morning. I can ask him. All right, write that down. That was, I think you guys maybe you know or don't know, but I've been doing videos for regular labs, the install and update videos. So I did it for his 20. I did a video for each of his 29 extensions, and I actually had to do one for. I actually did one for what nothing. I said to him, I said, oh, "You don't want me to do one for what nothing, do you?" And he says, "Yes, of course I want you to." So instead of saying what nothing a zillion times all the way through, I just said it the first couple times and then told everyone I was just going to say what nothing from then on, just not to sound like a total goober. Yeah, what nothing version 12.7.0. I don't know if have you seen some of his video collection of people saying what nothing when on that extension. It's kind of funny. He's got a really fun sense of humor. I really enjoy chatting with him. Yeah, Joomla Shack buying all the Joomla extension developer companies. I guess if they're going, I guess if those companies are going under, then that's probably good. And from the announcements that I've seen, in Joomla Shack, that's Steve Burgess. From what I've seen, they seem to be transitioning well and letting people know, being good with the information. But maybe that'll become the new dream. The one dream is to build a company so that Microsoft buys it and then you're set. So maybe people will think, I'm going to develop an extension. Maybe Joomla Shack will take it over. But they certainly seem to be doing a lot. And Joomla Shack not only does, I think they're also doing Drupal and WordPress stuff as well under the other company, if I'm thinking correctly and about the right ones. Oh, okay. When did they get Perfect Web? Oh, okay. Perfect Web does WordPress. Oh, no, yeah. I think I saw that announcement when they had that come out. Oh, for today? Okay, I'm just trying to bring it up on the page here. It's not coming up very quick, but perfectweb.co. It's probably from everybody on the live stream rushing over to that page and crashing their server. Yeah, I've used some Joomla Shack extensions. I think part of the reason I've not used very many of them, though, Manuel, is because I think I had a membership for their templates one year a long time ago, and then I ended up going with Rocket Theme just simply for, I forget. It's on their blog. Okay, it came up. Yeah, I use JSitemap as well. Yeah, yeah, and they came off of XMap. OSMap, I don't think that I have used. I really like JSitemap. I'll show you right here. It's got a ton of Vinny, are you asking because of what to use or because that's what you use? Yeah, JCal Pro. I'll tell you, although you know what, SH404 SEF was picked up by whoever did JCal Pro, and then Weebler, that's SH404 SEF. He ended up taking it back or buying it. By taking, I just mean ending up with it back. So obviously there must have been some arrangement, but so he brought that back and using it himself. So. Okay, you use OSMap. When I switch over to my transition here to screen, go to Components and JSitemap Pro, one of the things that I really like, let's log in here again, is this, where's the option? htaccess editor. You can edit the htaccess file right in there. Now, of course, I always say to people, make sure that you know how to access that directly, because if you break this, you get locked out of your site. But yeah, it's got lots of the basic site maps that are there already. Some pretty cool configuration stuff. Really, again, a lot more things than I really ever use. But I do like it, and for generating things. Something that's interesting is they have a JSitemap. They also have an extension for doing AMP files, Google's amplified mobile pages, and they also have a setting for a sitemap for amplified mobile pages to submit. And I use Weebler's WAMP, or maybe it's WBAMP, and it's interesting. So the one site that I have like 17,000 pages. I only get about 1,500 pages picked up by Google for its amplified mobile pages, but then it drops off by over time by a couple of hundred. Then it'll go up again, and I don't know why it cannot, why it's not accepting the other sites, and that's something that I've meant to look into. But it's because I would like Google to use all 17,000 pages. And it's odd. It's not pages that just barely have any content on them that are being neglected, because I actually have pages with puns on them, one-line puns, and they're being picked up. But there's other stuff that doesn't. So I'm not quite sure what their criteria is. But the thing that does confuse me is that it drops off over time. So what I actually thought that I would like to try doing, if I get the chance to, would be to buy this JSitemap's version of AMP pages, and also take advantage of the sitemap and see if that gets Google to see more of my pages. Vinny, you have subscription to the training site, but lifetime access through AppSumo. AppSumo. What's AppSumo? AppSumo. I don't know that one. Is AppSumo something where you buy just apps through them, or memberships, or like the affiliates, or? Oh, okay. Offers deals to use products. Okay, I'm not. So, all right, here I am on page here. Okay. Hey, Emmanuel, thanks for offering that. I don't think I'm going to be buying it for a JAMP for a little while, simply because I'm kind of I'll keep that in mind, though, because I'm a little bit overdrawn on the new app purchases the last couple of weeks for this project that I'm working on. So they have the latest deal. Okay. All right, so they're negotiating deals with people, with entrepreneurs. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty neat. I'm going to bookmark that. And interesting. Another thing to write down. You know, one thing that was a great deal for me, I saw advertised a stock photo site, and they were get free lifetime memberships for 1,000 free lifetime memberships for like $40. And at that time, it's like, wow, it's always so hard to find. It's always so hard to find photographs that are free to use on web projects. So I thought, well, this is pretty good. So I actually paid the $40 or $45, and then I realized, wow, good deal for them. They just set up a site, advertise. They need 1,000 people give them $45 for a lifetime membership. They made 45,000 right there, and they're doing pretty good. And that site has been growing. But I'll tell you, I'm so glad that I have that free membership, because now I often just go to that site. I don't even try to find the other free sites or use the other sites, although I use Pixabay and other ones when I can't find them. But it was just so nice to just have something to just constantly have. So I'm going to sign up there. Good idea, Mary. All right. Off we go. Let's see what they tell me about. Yeah, stock unlimited. I think that's the one, Vinny. Free media. Stock unlimited. Yep. They were kind of slow at the beginning. Like the server speed was slow, but it's really picked up lately. So I'm happy about that. A lot of good stuff in there. It's just and actually I've been making that a point to people that I have been pitching deals to, or for maintaining their websites, or if they want to send me their content, I tell them I have a membership on a site with great pictures that gives me permission to use them on my projects, and so I can put them on your site, and that will save you the cost of having to get paying for stock photos. So that's another one. You got Plannable through AppSumo for $49 for lifetime access, and it's $45 a month normally. Wow, nice. No word from Phil. Cool. Well, I'll be excited to see what deals come through that. Alrighty. Well, look at that. We're at an hour. That puts it at 6 o'clock here on the left coast of Canada. Which is, Mary, how come you aren't making supper? You usually leave to make supper, don't you? Because today I was super late again, too. Instead of being 3:30, I think, what was it, 5 o'clock when I went on. So, yeah, 9 p.m. there. On the cold East Coast. Yep. Oh, your site's down. Learning about database collations. At 8 p.m. in Costa Rica. Okay, 2 hours. Is it your site that's down, Mary, or one of your client sites? At dinner at the desk today, yeah. Oh, okay, that's why you're having dinner at the desk. Yeah, it's nice to have the luxury that if it's one of my sites, I can at least think, oh, okay, I don't care. I'll deal with it in an hour and take a break. But well, I hope you solve that. I'm sure that you will. You get some joy in that. All right, everybody. Well, thanks. Enjoyed chatting again, catching up with the club here on late Monday afternoon, early Monday evening, and too late for anybody in Europe, I'm sure. Well, although, let's see, we got six people watching right now, and I know sometimes people tune in there and just do their listen along, and that's great too. So if you're there and you're just listening, that's great too. You are welcome to join us. Manuel, you're welcome. Vinny, have a great night. Mary, I wish you clarity of thought and for the right answer to come really soon on what's up with that database. And everybody else is out there. I think maybe my friend Rick's probably got this running in the background. So night to you, and enjoy your Joomla sites. God bless.